This is Unboxed by Aramex. It's a podcast series of compelling stories and cultural perspectives. And our guest is the brains behind Saudi's first hip-hop show. He is a blogger. He conducts interviews. He likes to talk to dope people, which I think is a great phrase. We'll ask him about that. And he's well known here in the UAE, among other things, for his show on Pulse, Sharjah's radio station. Hassan Ahmed Dennaoui, Big Hass. It's great to meet you. Nice to see you.
We say Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be upon you. It's an honor to talk to you.
Alaikum salam, I have to say to you. Look, it's great to have you here. I've got so much to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about hip-hop and your role in promoting regional artists. I want to talk about the culture of hip-hop and what that means for here. Loads. And I'm having to kind of gulp down the excitement, to be honest. But I want to start by getting to know you. You are from Saudi Arabia, but you've lived in the UAE for quite a while, haven't you?
I've moved to the UAE, to this beautiful country, about 7 years ago. And the main reason for that was my son, Ahmed, who's on the autism spectrum.
Right.
Shout out to all autism parents out there. And this was the main reason of us, obviously, moving, so that we can give him a much, much more kind of wider and inclusive situation. This was the driving force for me, obviously, to come to this beautiful country. And I guess I've been here for 7 years right now, and it definitely feels longer. But God bless, it's been a beautiful journey, filled with so many achievements and so many obviously learnings. It's been incredible.
We'll get to some of your achievements. Does the UAE? I mean, you're born in Saudi. I know you came to came to the UAE as a kid. I think your parents were they here for some time as well.
That's incredible.
I've been stalking you rather than researching you. But does it feel like home here in the Emirates?
Oh man, this is crazy. I don't really talk about that a lot, but yeah, it is. It is a full circle moment.
Right.
So long story short, as a kid growing up in Saudi. As a Saudi myself, my English was not good. I actually started learning English at the age of 14.
Wow.
My dad, may his soul rest in peace and power, he walked in one day at the house, and he's like, son, you're just getting bigger, and that there's no English. Because as a Saudi, I was in a Saudi school, and at that time, we didn't learn English the proper way, right?
Right.
And my father was a big geek on, obviously, education, language, all that. And this is where he took the step to move us from Jeddah to Sharjah at that point. And I went to the International School for Shuwaifat. And I remember, sir, I'm not kidding you, I didn't speak one word of English. They put me in a special class. It was called a special class, filled with people from, it was Japan, China, I don't know, other countries as well, that want to learn English. And this is how I started to learn English. I fell in love with basketball and hip hop.
Okay.
And I started watching basketball games, listening to the announcements and all that stuff, and I fell in love with hip hop as music and music generally. That's how I learned my English.
You would not know, by the way.
Crazy. A lot of people would say that.
Because you have that kind of NBA hip hop.
Yeah.
I mean, they go together like peaches and cream, don't they? But you have that kind of twang in your accent.
Twang, I like that. So it was actually owed to belonged to my father. And there was a teacher. Her name is Miss O'Connor. God bless her. And the first kind of lesson, she started talking about language and the importance of language. She's like, why is language existing? Why do you need? And she started explaining that you need to express yourself. So if you're in a train station and you want to go from point A to point B, what do you say? She's like this: me, go, A, B. That's it. You want to express yourself.
Yeah.
And she made me love the language. And obviously, like I said, I fell in love with it even more when I started obviously listening to music and watching basketball. This is how it is. So yeah, Sharjah, God bless, is home, because where I'm at right now, and this is a crazy story, the studio for Pulse 95 Radio is 1 minute away from my home.
Nice. Well worked.
Where I used to be living about 25, 30 years ago.
Really?
Insane.
Wow,
So
that's synchronicity, do they call it? I don't know. Coincidence? Who knows?
I don't know. It's a full circle moment. For me, it was crazy, because when I went for my meeting there, and I'm like, this sounds familiar. I called my mom. I was like, yo, dude, we used to live around this area. It was like that. It was just crazy. And obviously, and then obviously we went back to Saudi Arabia. Life went on, but then obviously 7 years ago, we moved here since we have our angel Ahmed, and ever since it's like UAE became home.
How is Ahmed now? How's he doing? I mean,
God bless.
autism had different levels.
Yeah.
How's he getting on?
No, listen, I want to shout you and Aramex, of course, for giving me this chance to, because it's important. If autism is not a disease; it's a way of life. It's a way of thinking.
Yep.
He's really good. It's incredible how the evolution of himself, how he's very curious about life. And I've always read about autism, seen things about autism, and I think the way he's going on with his life is incredible. Like he learned Arabic on his own. So
No
on his own
teaching, just
no, yeah. He
picking
learned
it up from friends.
yeah,
and-
no, alone, like alone. He just learned. He picked it up
Wow.
on his own. He learned how to video edit on his own. We didn't like kind of sit down. This is how you do it. He kind of see me editing some audio, some video, blah blah blah, and he kind of followed that. And it was just incredible. What I'm trying to say is that people always want to try to put people in a certain kind of frame, or like it's a disease, they can't do it. But when they're given the chance, they excel big time. And this is what I'm. So he taught me patience, for example. My son Ahmed taught me how to be patient. I'm not a patient man. So when Ahmed came to life, and we found out that he's on the spectrum, I'm like, I wasn't that patient. But then with autism, you have to learn how to be patient. So he gave me that. It was him that gave me patience. And as a human, as a Muslim as well, patience is really important, in our culture, in our religion. And he was the one that was able to give me that, to be honest.
So you're teaching him, and he's teaching you. It's a
Oh,
nice
yeah.
relationship.
Yeah, I would say he's teaching me more, to be honest. Like he's way more.
I think that's all kids, Hass. I got to be honest with you.
100%.
But look, it's good to hear. Let me talk about hip hop with you, because that's really where I'd like to go. And I know it's kind of more than just, I like a few songs with you. This is kind of your life. But what led to it? What was can you remember a moment when you thought, oh, that's my, I was going to say my jam, but I'm too old to say that.
Bless.
That's the song that I love. What was it?
You're not too old. I'm going to be honest with you, and this is going to shock a lot of people. I got into hip hop from Arabic hip hop. So a lot of people would like, when they got into hip hop as a culture, they got into Biggie, Tupac, all these big names, right? For me, I was so attached and so consumed and so attracted to the Arab rappers that represented hip hop, because it's my culture, and I got attracted to the art form of hip hop from them. This is the crazy part. It doesn't really happen often, because you love the culture, right? Like let's say basketball, because for me basketball is life. You get into basketball from like, let's say you have someone like, I don't know, Dirk Nowitzki, who's a German basketball player.
Sure.
And you're a young kid, you get into basketball because you've seen Dirk Nowitzki, for example, play.
It's the role model thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the clothes. And
100%. And that's, for me, I got into the culture of hip hop because of these Arab rappers. And then I started researching, where did this culture come from? Because you said something beautiful. For me, hip hop is not just music. It's a culture that has different elements of it. DJing, emceeing, obviously, breaking, graffiti. All these are elements of hip hop, right? So
it's an art form.
It's a culture, yeah.
It is.
That started in the early 70s in the Bronx, in New York. I get it. But now it's worldwide. There's hip hop everywhere. So for me, as a young kid from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, who got into obviously music, learned English for music, and then stumbled upon some Arab rappers who are in the diaspora trying to do hip hop in both Arabic and English and representing my culture. I was like, whoa, first of all, who are these guys? And what is this culture of hip hop? And then I started studying, and I'll always be a student of this culture, because I'm very vocal about the fact that it's a culture, right? It's such a cool, important culture that is all about self-expression. This is what hip hop stands for, and it's sad to see it sometimes only right now being highlighted as only on the negative connotation kind of thing. So I'm very passionate about it, and I want to say thank you, hip hop, for just being you.
It's your life, isn't it? I didn't expect that. I got to be honest. I kind of thought you would reference The Lost Poets or Gil Scott-Heron or, I don't know, Grandmaster Flash or something. But it was kind of completely, it was turned on its head for you.
100%. You know what? I spoke to LL Cool J, who's one of the pioneers, a legend.
Yeah.
He said, I love that. He said, this is unique. He said to me, and we were talking off air about that, and he said this makes it even much more. This is why hip hop was created, because you need to find the essence of it, and you found your essence in your own way. You don't even need to go to New York to find the essence, right? You found it using these incredible, obviously, Arab rappers who are, obviously, representing your culture in a way, but using the American hip hop, obviously art form. But you found it in the most authentic way. That's what he said. It was beautiful. So for me, I feel honored to hear that. And then, like I said, I had to research this culture. So many people, for example, don't know the story of how hip hop, obviously started and what the essence of it. And it's a culture. If you study it, you understand that it's just not just some sort of type of music or a genre of music.
There's a UK comedian who is a big hip hop fan. Mark Lamar is his name, and he talked about going to see Public Enemy in I think the late 80s, so about 87, 88. And he said, there's a fine line when you go to a hip hop show of it being music and a bunch of guys shouting at you. It's a great gag, but there is some truth to that. But I think if that's how you see it, you're missing the point, because it is a culture. It comes from block parties, people getting together, having fun, rhyming, writing poetry, sometimes on the fly, literally, the whole battle kind of culture.
Yeah.
There's a great deal of quick thinking, great deal of intelligence, great deal of articulacy in that.
I love how you're packaging it right now, because for me it's beautiful. Yeah. People take it for granted, the amount of talent. Like, freestyle is an art form on its own. So many people, rappers, can't freestyle, for example, but the rappers, the art of freestyling, when you throw words, you're on stage, and you throw words and you put it in a rhyme, that is incredible. So, but I'll go back to it being a culture and the importance of this culture and what it represented, what you said about peace, love, unity, and having fun. This is how it started. It annoys me how it is right now, though, and how the idea of hip hop and how the mainstream sees hip hop as, obviously always in the negative connotation.
Bling, money, cars, the guns, the whole
100%. But it's an element of it. It's the same thing with the beef thing, by the way, like the beef or disses. When the beef or disses is a part of hip hop. It's not all hip hop. It's part of it. So there's a lot of things to it. But one of the most amazing things about hip hop is the fact that it gave a voice to the voiceless, right? Yep. It gave a voice to people who are underrepresented. It gave a voice to people to express themselves in the best way, because when you rhyme, when you're speaking from the heart, all these things. You mentioned Public Enemy, OGs, legends in every single way. I've had the pleasure and honor to meet Chuck D, and he revived my career.
Really?
Yeah.
See, he's one of my... I was going to say heroes, that's a little bit much, but he's a person I have listened to for years and thought he can, just an amazing...
So a quick story for you.
Go on, tell me.
When I launched the show in Saudi Arabia...
this is Leish Hip Hop, yeah?
Leish Hip Hop, correct.
Your show,
yes,
which began in 2000?
Yeah, that was in 2011.
2011, right.
Launched it was incredible. It was a milestone. It's still a milestone. It's still going on, celebrating 14 years right now on air. Mm-hmm. The first 4 years was difficult because I'm establishing something, was very new, obviously, to Saudi Arabia and the region.
Completely new in Saudi Arabia.
Completely new. It was the first and still the only one. I say that, and I'm a bit sad when I say the first and only one, because I wanted other people to come and talk about it. But anyway, yeah.
One thing, was the name slightly ironic? Am I
no,
going to get
hip hop, which means why hip hop.
So why hip hop?
Yeah.
I mean, what?
I've been explaining why hip hop for 14 years.
Good for you. Good for you.
So I was feeling a bit down for the first 3-4 years, because I'm just struggling with my emotions. I'm struggling with how do I keep this going? At the end of the day, I'm on a radio station. It was once a week, but I got in so many fans that didn't tune in on the radio. This was my pitch. I was like, I'm going to get you people that don't know radio. They don't even open on the radio. And I went through that. Anyway, The Chuck D story happened when I saw Chuck D on back then Twitter, now X, saying I'm going to be in Beirut, Lebanon.
Okay.
He was going with his wife for a lecture, and we've been talking on Twitter for back and forth. And then when I saw that, guess what? I booked a flight from Jeddah to Beirut, and he said, "Yeah, let's do it." And I remember, I kid you not, he would. First of all, Chuck D was with local rappers and producers in a coffee shop, which is very Chuck D, right? He went there. He was chilling with local rappers, producers from Lebanon, Beirut, before his wife gives this lecture. And I walked into this coffee, right? I swear I get goosebumps. He stood up and he's like, "Yo, Big Hass." I was like, "Whoa." And the producing the rapper's like, "How does he know? How does Chuck D know? What? And he gave me the biggest hug ever. And he whispered in my ears, because I was vocal on Twitter saying things like, "I need to keep going." Like, he was motivating me, right? And he's like, "Keep going. I see you." And that meant a lot. That gave me that was a revival moment. After this moment, I was like, I'm doing something right. I need to continue. That gave me like a big push towards.
What did he whisper?
He said, "Keep going. I see you." Yeah, that's it. That's it. It was like this. It was like, and he's like a big guy, and he kind of held in and he kind of said, "Keep going. I see you." Coming in from somebody like Chuck D, these words, the whole time I'm sitting in that meeting, and a friend of mine was saying, "Are you with us?" Like, I'm just thinking about what just happened. I'm just thinking about this moment.
Sure.
And that moment really, when I went back to Jeddah, that really I was with a new blood, new energy. I was like, I have a purpose now.
Yeah.
It was that. So, see, it came in from many ways. It was Arab rappers. It was Chuck D. It was LL Cool J. It was Kool Herc, man. The founding father of hip hop. I spoke to him. And guess what? When I spoke to him on the phone, he's like, "Which country are you calling me from?" And I'm like, "Saudi Arabia." He's like, "Hip hop reached that far." Isn't
That's
that remarkable?
When you know it's accepted. I mean, think of it in simple terms. Super Bowl the other day. Kendrick Lamar is, to me, one of the great artists alive now. But it was just very normal to see a hip hop artist at the Super Bowl. That's the acceptance. That it's as mainstream, although he probably isn't, but he is at the same time, which is hard to do. It's as mainstream as you're gonna get.
Oh yeah, he was the first solo rapper to do the Super Bowl.
Sure.
It was incredible. So yeah, 100%. Hip hop is a way of life. Hip hop is a way of thinking. And for me, I'm not a rapper or producer, but I'm a voice of hip hop. I'm a student of what this culture obviously taught me. There's many cultures in the world, right? For example, basketball is a culture.
Sure.
I love basketball. Basketball for me taught me discipline, taught me resilience, taught me a lot of things. So there's a lot of cultures in the world. You just have to find your tribe and you find your culture. My tribe is hip hop and basketball.
It's great because I think it's so true. You have to find your people, don't you? You have to find where you fit.
And there's no right or wrong, to be honest. Like, because a lot of people say, "Why are you so adamant about pushing?" No, I'm adamant about voicing out my culture, the things I believe in, because I'm so passionate about it.
Let's talk about artists at the moment. In particular, I guess the Arab artist rappers that you rate, champion, think are worth listening to, who's up and coming. What's the first person that comes to mind?
Ooh,
That's putting you on the spot slightly.
Yeah.
I know.
Love that, though.
Who do you always go to? You think, I mean, there are some songs in your life I always think that will always be there. Sly and the Family Stone for me. Family Affair is a song I've heard a million times. It's probably my number one song of all time.
Wow.
I've never got bored of it. Is there something hip-hop in that, hip-hop-wise for you?
But that's a great question, to be honest. I think it's really important to reflect on it. But before I answer, I want to say that when it comes to the Arab region, we're not as the Arab region. It's not only specified in one country. That's what makes us also unique, right?
The Gulf, the Levant.
Exactly.
It's a lot wider than
yes.
people. Yeah.
And that's what makes us although unique. Because when you talk about, for example, American hip hop, UK,
East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah.
London, blah, yeah.
The Arab region is so diverse and it's so big. So you have to find out where. You have to specify where for you to be able to express. I'm I'm gonna mention two names because I think these are incredible names. There's a Syrian rapper producer. His name is Bu Kulthum. He's somebody who I really have so much respect for. Somebody who is very, very talented as obviously a rapper, producer. What's really incredible about him is that he was able to tap into emotions, especially as an Arab man. Not a lot of people were tapping into vulnerability, all these things. So for me, I really like that. And there's another Saudi rapper who I want to say on the record, and I know what I'm saying, he's the best Saudi rapper. I'm just saying, number one, because the facts speak of themselves. And the reason why I'm highlighting him, his name is Black B, spelled BLVXB, pronounced Black B. He's a rapper from Riyadh. Okay. He's a rapper that associates himself with space and aliens.
Okay,
you see where I'm going?
Yeah,
in Saudi Arabia, he was able to build, if you ask me, Has, what's so special about this guy? Why this guy, right? He was able to build a fan base out of nothing. So he didn't take fans from this rapper or that rapper. No. He was able to kind of launch a fan base, right? And this is something that should be celebrated. That's one. Two, his consistency. He has 7 albums, so many singles. It's crazy. So as a Saudi independent artist / rapper, that takes a lot. He worked a lot with his producer called Rahman to establish a sound, right? So for me, I'm thinking about all the things that should be celebrated. Consistency, building a fan base out of nothing, never really getting into beefs and disses, because in the Arab region, or generally, when you get into a beef or a diss, your kind of value goes up. Oh, you got start trending right now. This is talking about that. You get, you're hot. He never got into that. So he made it the right way, in my opinion. He never really uses any curses or whatever. And he's very, and number 5, he gave hope to so many people, because the things as a Saudi man, he talks about things that are very vulnerable. Again, no, as a man, you're not supposed to talk about, incredible story. So for me, that is inspiring. Like when you see someone like that. So I'd say these two names, and there's so many, of course, there's so many. Like I said, we can't put it in, it's hard to put it in one box, to be honest, but it's just beautiful to see the evolution of hip-hop in the region.
Well, we'll be here for days if we were to sort of go through names and list top 10s. But I'm interested in what you say there, because really you've mentioned 2 people that are kind of slightly outside the norm. Let's be honest. They've of blazed their own trail, haven't they?
100%.
And I wonder how...
that should be celebrated.
Absolutely
What you just said, so many people we follow all the time. I get it. You follow the success, you follow the trend, but it's cool to also launch your own path. And if you have a belief inside here, if you believe, even if nobody's there, bro, it's dark over there. Cool. I'm gonna put my own light. I am my own light. I'm going through there. It's scary, it's tough, but I'm going there because I believe in it. And that for me inspires me so much. And to anybody listening right now, I think it's important for you to delve into that. No need to follow, get inspired. But if you think that this is the way, and it's so dark, it's crazy, all that, but you believe that's the way, man, sis, brother, go for it.
It's not easy to trust yourself, it really isn't, particularly in an area like this, perhaps in a country, Saudi Arabia, where culturally hip-hop is relatively new, viewed with... what's this all about? I think it's fair to say that's a very hard thing to do.
It is.
And I guess that's something that you've come up against as well.
100%. 100%. But again, because I believed in it. And one of the things that Leish Hip Hop was responsible for doing, because like you beautifully said, Leish Hip Hop, which means why hip hop, I'm explaining why hip hop should be celebrated. So when I first started the show, yo, Haas, this is an American culture. Why are you talking to us about this? I'm like, okay, we can use an American art form, but also add our elements to it. This is where producers start coming in and adding our own elements from culture, from our beautiful, rich heritage culture, right? Like now when you speak about Arabic hip-hop, you speak about, for example, Moroccan rap, which is incredible, Egyptian hip-hop, which for me elevated Arabic hip-hop even more because the producers started putting elements of old Egyptian music, right? To it. So the producers played a big role in also directing the rappers. Okay, let's mix this whole kind of, Egyptian culture tradition that we have with hip hop and do your thing. You see, all of a sudden, it's not only for hip hop fans, it's for anybody. It becomes to the masses. And this is how it evolves. And that's the power of it, you know? So it's important to stay true to your culture. And I swear to you, when I spoke to LL Cool J, who's a pioneer, on air, he said to me this: I don't want to hear Arab rappers rapping in English.
Yeah.
I want to hear Arab rappers rapping in Arabic. Beautiful language. Do your language. Represent you, right? Because there's so much focus on copying always, you know, obviously there. I get it. He said, I get it. But be in love with your culture, and then we will love you for that.
It's a great point, because Arabic is known for being quite, I think, quite poetic.
It is.
And I think, I used to listen to MC Solar years and years ago. I think it works really well in French hip hop. I really do, particularly him with his approach. And it works in English. I can't do it, nor will I try, because I'm going to sound like a dumb old man. But it works for some people. Can you rap, by the way? Have you ever,
No.
It's not a thing.
No way.
And you're honest about that?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I love the art form. I am so, like, you know, the word nerd, right? I love that, and I put it in a positive connotation. The word play. I love wordplay. I love what did he or she mean by that? How did they put this together? How did they come up with it? So for me, it's a huge, incredible talent.
How is it for artists now emerging from Morocco, from Algeria, from Saudi Arabia, who want to, make their mark? How is it in terms of, I don't know, we've got bigger venues now. There is more opportunity for live performance. Is there the money there to be able to record, produce, and make a living?
That's a beautiful question. I'm going to be honest with you. Look, generally for independent artists, it's tough, but there's so many things that makes it easier. For example, for you to drop a song right now, it's so easy to put it, upload it, and just make the world listen to it.
That's fine, but making money from it is
But that's the question.
Yeah.
So for me, I think sometimes I want to say this. I'm going to tiptoe. It's important to make money and make a living out of your art form, but as an artist, it's also your duty to reflect the time.
Okay.
So if you call yourself an artist, there's some sort of a kind of an artist thing that you have to push out to the world, right? Because it's your duty to reflect that as an artist. Now, it's important to make money and live off of that. Is the region itself as a whole ready for that? I would say yes. There's so many opportunities. Sometimes you have to play the game. Sometimes you don't. By meaning, for example, so many people do cover work. Like they cover songs. And they call themselves, obviously, artists. And they are. But they have to make a living.
Sure.
So what I'm trying to say is that where's originality here from? And this is the struggle. If you talk to these guys, they'll tell you, yeah, I want to do my own original music, but no one was going to book me for that. You see, that's the struggle for so many people.
Catch-22, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. And you're like, okay, so how do you become original and still be booked? Mm-hmm. I would say this is the interesting part. Because like you said right now, obviously you make money from streaming, whatever money you can make, shows, merch, sponsorships. That's how an artist make money, right? Like that's how every time you stream a song, they make whatever, a few cents or whatever it is, right? Booking.
If you're lucky.
Yeah. Yeah. Booked for a show, merch, sponsorship. These are the kind of sort of income for an artist, right? And that's why you see so many artists diversifying right now and trying to be obviously, the live shows, trying to expand that. So many artists don't even do live shows. How do you generate money from that? So it's hard to sustain, right? It's hard to sustain.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's starting to happen. I mean, here in Dubai, where we are today, Soul DXB at D3 has become, it's a pretty big festival. It's a few days now, and that's very much...
That's a culture.
Sneakers and hip-hop, let's face it.
Oh, 100%. So, again, if you want to get to know me personally, I love evolution of things. And Soul DXB didn't just happen. It's like 10, 11 years of building this culture, right?
Yeah,
building
it's a long time coming.
Exactly. It's beautiful to see this culture evolving, and giving so many people, voices and opportunity to perform on a big stage. You mentioned Soul DXB. Isn't it beautiful to see someone like Nas performing with someone like Freak, who's a obviously UAE based artist, on the same stage, for example? Isn't that incredible to see? see a legend of hip hop performing with, you know,
Illmatic is one of the great albums of all time. I
not
just want
one.
to put
I
that
think
in
it
there.
is the greatest album.
Quite possibly.
For me, I'll put my foot down and say it is the greatest hip hop album.
We have a meeting of minds here now. You're not going anywhere today. But you're right. That's really important. That gives that opportunity. You've got to grab that with both hands. Haven't you?
I'm loving this conversation with you because, you know, going back to Illmatic, why was Illmatic discussed that way? For me, as a kid who's outside this culture, right? I would say because he took me to New York. He took me to New York.
Yeah.
You put that album, close your eyes, you're in New York.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for me, that is the element of art generally. Like, this is why art exists. I'm in Jeddah. Close your eyes. Play the album. You're in New York.
Yeah.
Isn't that remarkable?
But that's the trick that music has. Music has this ability to take you to places or take you back to certain times, specific nights out. I don't know, whatever it is, and it transports you.
It does.
Something in it, I don't know. What other music do you like, by the way? It's not just hip hop, obviously. There must be other things. Is there anything
Jazz.
else? Really?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Jazz, soul, funk. I
James
grew up
Brown?
listening to a lot of metal, like, you know,
Did you?
alternative. Yeah, a lot. But it was hip hop that captured my soul and my heart. It was it. Like,
We've got that.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. It was that. But yeah, I love jazz. I love soul. I love music generally. Like, this is, for me. I breathe it. I can't find myself without, you know, listening to, you know, music. It really, beautifully said, it does transport you, and for me, it gives you it elevates you. This was when I first launched my blog. It was music elevation, right? It was that, you know, you elevate through music. You just truly do. So yeah, it's a I love it. The amount of times that music saved me, for example, you know, when I say save me, like, yeah, when you just get lost in music, or it educated you about certain things. Because by the way, this is what hip hop. One of the reasons why I love hip hop, it was news to me. When I say news, like, I got to know what's happening in a certain area or in a certain region through the rhymes of a poet.
Yeah.
Because what people might not know, and maybe this might be new for some people, rap is rhythm and poetry. Rap, R-A-P, rhythm and poetry. In Arabic, الشعر والإيقاع. This is why when you said about, you know, obviously Arabs were so passionate about poetry. And I'm not saying, obviously, hip hop and poetry, they are together. And as Arabs, we're so passionate, very proud of our poetry. It's just now you're adding, you know, a hip hop element to it. And imagine the power you can do with both.
It's another dimension. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's just, and it's, at the end of the day, lots of hip hop tunes, rap tunes, whatever you want to call them. It's really just storytelling. It's really just like podcasting. It's only telling stories, and we do that with our kids to get them to sleep at night. We do it around the campfire. We do it around the lunch table, dinner table. That's what we do as people. Nice to be able to communicate, and if you can communicate effectively, whether it's through rapping or whether it's through articulating, learning English as you did.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy that I learned English from music? I'm just thinking about it right now as I speak to you. I don't think I'd have learned English any other way. For me, it's insane. It is crazy to me. Like, thinking about it, I learned it from that. You know, I love basketball, and you hear the announcement speaking and how, oh, it was a great dunk. And then I hear a rhyme. I was like, what is that? What?
I want to ask you about something else that you do as well. Talk to me about the beat.
Oh, we're going there. Look, part of the things how do I put this? I think there's a lot of things in my life that I could have done always better, but my passion always kind of dominated. Okay. Meaning, I was very passionate, but maybe not calculated, right? The beat is a series of events I started way back in Jeddah, way back. It was like a gathering, get musicians, get local artists to perform. And then obviously when I moved here, I wanted the beat to go on, right? Yeah. And hence why obviously I started doing all these events. And it's beautiful to see when I did it 7-8 years ago, for example, here when I launched it, so many musicians came up to me and said, oh, wow, thank you for the platform. Because all you need sometimes is give them a platform. So I don't want to take credit for giving people a platform. It was just something I'm very passionate about. It was called The Beat. Get artist A, 2, 3, 4, and let's have a vibe. This was it. This was my way to do it. Fast forward, I think artists are now starting to do that themselves. What's amazing is that they're not waiting for somebody to give them a platform. And kudos to them. I like that thinking.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait for somebody to give you what you deserve, right? Or wait for if there's nobody doing it, you do it.
You can give yourself the kick, can't you?
Thank you. I love that. And I think this should be like some sort of a motto for all the artists right now. If no one is booking you, book yourself.
Good for you.
And that evolved. So back in the day, 7, 8 years ago, when I launched it, it was like I said, it was a series of events aimed to support local and regional artists. With the artists that I pick, it's just the vibe, and giving them this platform for them to express. Because I have my own platform, right? So I wanted to highlight those artists under my name as somebody who's trusted in the music, world. Okay, you know what? Music world, I am Hass or Big Hass. I want to champion these artists today. Check them out. Why? 1, 2, 3. There's always a why for me. There's always a why. Why are you supporting this? I will always tell you why.
Okay. So you talk about you're a man. You're led by your heart, but you've obviously sat and thought this through.
Thank you.
This is because it goes back to the old hip hop thing of representing, doesn't it?
But yeah, I think sometimes this is a big debate. I don't want to get into it now because I think passion for me, I'm not talented. I'm passionate, and I believe passion is something that you grow up with. You kind of it's with you. You're either passionate or not.
You're also honest.
For me, I'm very passionate. Like, am I skilled? I don't know. I don't think so, personally. I think I'm passionate. Like, if I believe in it, like I talked about Black P, I believe in him.
Right.
I believe in the guy. So I'm going to talk about him and how I talk about him. That's it. So for me, if you want to take anything out of this, it's when someone impacts you, you talk about it. And you just, there's no window. There's no kind of filter. Yeah, there's no filter. That's it, done. I believe in it. I'm passionate about it, done. So I think that is not celebrated a lot in our culture, in our community a lot. But yeah, I'm just passionate and I am who I am.
Do you know what? I'm just sitting there thinking, I believe in you. I'm getting a bit swept along with you. Your enthusiasm. It's refreshing to say the least. Has. So, is there? I'm surprised you're not getting into production, for example. Is there a record in you? Have you got plans to produce somebody, to create something like that?
So interesting you say that. So COVID came, and
Right.
COVID for many people, of course, shocked the world. But for me personally, it was a breakthrough. Because this is when I started executive production. Meaning, for so many people, especially in the Arab region, don't know what executive production is. In Arabic, it's called al-muntaj al-tanfidhi. So they don't know what it is because it doesn't really exist a lot. Executive producer is somebody that gets rapper A, rapper B, the producer, the artwork, release the song, do a video.
The whole connector.
I did that. Yeah, it was beautiful because it gave me whoa, I have connections. I know the rappers, right? I know the people. And it was a discussion with a guy called Suhail Nafar, who I really respect. He's from a distribution label called Empire, one of the biggest, if not the biggest labels in the world. He was like telling me, Hass, you know people. You know people on your dial. You can hit up anybody you want. And they'll write a verse for you. Why don't you get into that? Light bulb. It was that, and it was like, and it was a challenge because I would hit up rappers like, hey, I challenge you to write on this beat. Here is the beat. Rapper A, rapper B, let's go. Let's do a video. All guerrilla style, by the way. All done in a sort of, get your camera here. Okay, shoot on this street. Let's go, upload it. Yup.
Love it.
Yeah.
Fun.
That gave, I don't want to say the word, it's not permission. It gave the idea that, hey, yeah, we can, you don't need a label, a brand, whatever, like to give, just do it. It was that. It gave the kind of the realm that you're able to do that. The collaboration. I love collaboration because when you collaborate, all my records are collaborations. I started doing ciphers. Cypher is like when you get more than 3 or 4 rappers together, start doing ciphers for countries and putting them together. Incredible. Imagine doing a cipher for a country that country itself didn't know the rappers there, and they're putting them all together under that name, you know? It gave so many people the platform and the light, and now obviously they're on with their own individual, career. So I took that step that you're talking about, but as a skill, as a talent, no, I'm just good as a connector.
Isn't it great loving what you do and doing what you love?
Thank you so much for saying this. If you're watching this right now and you are loving what you do and doing what you love, say Alhamdulillah. Be blessed, because it's not what a lot of people are going through. It's the most important thing in life. When your job is not really a job, it's what you do. You will excel at it. You're not going to feel tired. It don't matter what time it is. It's just, you're always there. You're always, you're always linked in. You're always focused. You're always locked in. This is the beauty of it. Not everybody goes through that. And not everybody's blessed. I would say blessed, because so many people, shout out to them, they have to work for, the 9-to-5 job or whatever it is. They might not like it, but they got to do it to put food on the table. And respect for that. That's respect. But it's a beautiful thing when you really find what you love and you do it with your heart.
There are certain questions we ask in this podcast, and I'll get to those in a minute, that we give them to everybody that comes in. I've chosen a few for you.
Great.
And I'm kind of hopeful that they work. But I just wonder what's next for you. What are you going to, what are you planning?
Continuing to be a good father to my son. Like that's, if someone would say, what's the legacy of me? I would say, my son is my hero. Ahmed is my hero in every single way. I use my platform to speak, whether I'm emceeing or hosting at an economic forum or entrepreneurship festival or a music festival. I would always find a way to say that autism is not a disease, it's a way of life. I want to shout out all autism parents out there. And guess what? I always get the clap, and I always get 4 to 5 messages afterwards. I was in the audience. I have a son, a nephew, somebody with autism. Thank you so much for giving me hope or light. That for me, we have an old Bedouin saying. I'll say it in Arabic and I'll translate it. It says in Arabic, الإنسان الذي لا أثر له لا حياة له, which means a human being with no impact has no life. We are put on this earth to make an impact. This is why we created on this earth. So ask yourself, what's the impact you're doing? We're not going to live forever, right? What is your impact? It doesn't matter. Small, big, medium, it don't matter. Let God be the judge of that. But for you, what's your impact? For me, my purpose in life is Ahmed, my son. This is it, like in terms of like the core of it, and giving him the best platform he deserves to excel. Because as somebody on the autism spectrum, he sees things differently, and that for me inspires me. You know what? I'm going to say something that I never said because I'm inspired by this conversation. I think we really have the wrong perception about autism, specifically autism. With autistic kids, they don't even know hate. It's not like they don't use hate. They don't know what it is.
We learn hate.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is beautiful. They don't even know it. They don't even, you do something bad to him or her, they wouldn't know what is hate. Their heart is not filled with malice. There's none of it. It gives me goosebumps. Isn't that something that should be celebrated? Isn't that, something that should be highlighted?
And
the UAE does a beautiful job, and every time I talk about it, but even with royal family, by the way,
yes.
Even with the royals, every time I say this, someone would approach and say, "Thank you for saying that." The UAE is so vocal about that, so vocal about it, and for me, it inspires me so much because they've seen it. They want to empower it. They want to give you a platform. All these things. As an autism parent, oh my God, this means the world. Because it's a way of thinking. And like I said, we should be learning from it. So for me, it is focusing on that and giving my son a bigger platform. As a parent, the only thing you kind of worry about when you leave this earth, what happens to your kids, right? And for me, as somebody who has a son with autism, it scares me all the time.
Ain't that the truth? You got to let kids be kids. But I have to say, I think Ahmed is a very lucky boy.
God bless.
Closing questions for you, Has. and I've got 3, and we've got a list of kind of 7 or 8 questions, and I've
Let's
kind of
go.
chosen these for you. Fingers crossed. Taking into account everything you've done, what or who drives you? And I think you've just answered this question, actually, I realise. What is it that motivates you? But here's the proviso. Apart from Ahmed, your son.
What drives me? I think...
I mean, to me, I'm going to cut in here because my feeling is your passion is the thing that pushes you forward far more than, I guess, most, but certainly far more than me.
So I'm going to answer this quickly in 2 ways.
Cool.
What drives me definitely is the impact that what I'm doing could have on people. Sometimes I don't even realize that, to be honest. People would reach out to me, say, hey, I started my original song because you were very vocal about people being original. Isn't that crazy? Whoa.
It's good.
Yeah. Because you're very vocal. You go on social media, talk about an artist should have an original music. You should be doing. So I started it, and this is it. Good, bad, I don't know. But I'm just saying that. So that's the impact. Here, I got to say, my better half, man, Ahmed, my better half, my wife, is someone that she sees all the dirt, all the ugliness, when I say ugliness, all the ugliness that the industry kind of is put through me, because it's crazy, it gets crazy. And she accepts all that, she refreshes it, and puts me out there again. And I think she deserves a big shout out, because when you said that, I was thinking, what keeps me going? So it's the impact, but also how do you refuel? It's her. It's my better half. I would say, like, because when you start thinking about it, you go like, how are you keep going on? There's somebody that needs to be obviously taking care of that. And obviously Faith, Ahmed, plays a big role in me, but it was always been her. Every time I'd feel bad, I'd go to her and I would explain things, and she'd have a way to fix it. I don't know, fix it, I would say the word. So yeah.
It's a really positive message.
I'm a romantic guy.
You are. Second question.
Yeah.
Everything that we've talked about today, look back on that for a moment. And you've said there's lots of things that are going to be, I guess, social media sound bites from this. Let me tell you that. But what's the one message, or I suppose takeaway, that you would like anybody watching this or listening to this to really hold on to?
Be your own light. Don't allow even anyone to light you up, to be honest. Like, I'm going to be like that.
Okay.
I know it's very harsh and it's very out there. Do you, be you. Be your own light, be your own inspiration, be your own validation. I think that word is crazy. When I was on the come up, so many people wanted my validation, right? So many people. They just wanted me to notice them. That's it. And I realize right now, I was not a big fan of that, because I would notice you when I notice you. If it's meant to be, it's going to happen.
Sure.
You cannot stop what you're doing because Big Haas didn't notice you. If Big Haas XY said that your song or your track or your artwork is terrible, and you stop being an artist because of that, then sorry, my dear friend, you don't deserve to be an artist. I'm just being real. And this is something I've evolved with. I know that my words are heavy and I have a weight. I get that. But that shouldn't be. So I would say, if you ask me that question, be your own light. Light your own fire. You do it. You don't expect anybody. Someone else come and do it, great.
That's interesting, because you have a position online, on the radio, in the circles that you kind of frequent, that people will quite naturally now, after this amount of time, they'll kind of look up to you.
Yes.
And you are, for want of a better word, a role model to a lot of people. But you're trying to get through. I think what you're trying to say is, look, you do you.
Thank you.
Basically.
That's it. But yeah. But especially with music, sir, it's very subjective. If you send me something, I don't like it.
That's very true.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I say, okay, it's cool. And you didn't get the reaction that you wanted, and you quit. I'm looking at the camera right now. Come on, bro. Or sis, come on now. Come on. Seriously, don't use it. You know what? Use it as fuel.
The world's full of rejection.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's part of it. Like what? You reject me. Great. I'm going to show you why you made a wrong decision.
Fall down, get up.
Thank you.
Stand up. Yeah.
Which basketball for me helped out. basketball, you fall 9 times, you get up 10. That's how it is. So this is life. So there's so many things that help me become the way I am right now. Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. The Mamba mentality played a big role in how I'm thinking because of that. So yeah, it's just light your own fire.
I got 2 more questions. First of all, whoever's going to be producing this, good luck with the social media clips. That's a job and a half. Last question before the absolute final question we ask everybody. This I chose for you. If you could go back to your younger self with a piece of advice, I know this is kind of a standard question, but with you, I'm really interested in the answer. What would your advice be to you at, I don't know, 16, 18? You know, just 7 years ago.
It's happened. I would say that. Because look, I think when you ask this question, I don't want to say something materialistic or something like I would have done. I want to say something that is from the core. So, you know, I've always been a kid who valued things, who valued my culture, who valued my tradition. I've always been that. My dad and my mom brought me up that way. So I'm very blessed to always connect with my roots. Never really forgot my roots. I'm very passionate about it. So I would say the whole patience thing, be patient. Things are working out.
Okay.
You know, for you. And I think sometimes that we need to hear that, because sometimes you're like, oh, I'm panicking. What's going on right here? Am I doing the right thing? Am I lost? So my wife comes in, she saves me because she gives me a purpose. My son comes in with autism, that is autism in the Arab region that is seen in a certain way. And you have a platform to talk about it. You're talking hip hop. You're talking, obviously, you know, life and inspiring. Oh, it's coming for you. You just have to be...
Whether you like it or not, it's going to happen.
It's got to be patient. So I would say that.
Final question. We've asked everybody on this season, in this series, this question. What would you like to see happen or change, or what would you like to affect most in the world? In other words, what would you most like to unbox? And why would you like to do that?
Our Arabic culture and tradition is filled with so much love, so much talent. I'd want to unbox that. When I say this, there's so much tradition, heritage, that so many of the young stars right now that are coming up, they don't look at how powerful and rich we are. We're very rich, very rich. So when I say unbox, I say it in a way that is like highlighted even more. Unbox the potential. It's with you. It's within you.
Okay.
Just highlighting it and unboxing it to the world, show it. Because it wouldn't even take a lot of work. It's with it. You're born with it. You know? I don't think you need anything out external to showcase your talent and to showcase the culture there. Because I believe culture will take you there. Culture will make you reach. Your tradition, what you believe in, your roots, will eventually lead you to success. That's what I believe in. So I'd unbox our beautiful Arabic tradition, our heritage, that is filled with so much, you know, love, peace, and obviously talent. So much talent. It's insane. It's just insane. Just 3-4 days ago, I think we were celebrating 50 years of the legendary Kulthum, who's just, oh my God, just talking about her, what she was able to do. See, this is it. Again, see, we go back. Research old Arabic singers or artists. See what they went through, right? Just see what they went through. You go like, oh, wow. You know, like, insane. So unbox that. Unbox our heritage.
Kulthum is the one. No doubt. Big Hass, you said earlier that you said, and I think this is direct quote, I have no talent. I think that's completely untrue.
Man, bless.
Big Hass, talent, radio presenter, MC, hip-hop aficionado. I could go on.
It's an honor.
Loved it talking to you.
It's an honor. You're somebody who's revered right here, and meeting you, talking to you. Aramex, you know, for me, it's a platform, right?
Sure.
For them to give me a platform to express myself that way, guess what? It's therapy. So I came in here, and now I'm here. I feel motivated. Again, you see, I feel inspired because you're able to speak these things. You know, and yeah, shout out to you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Peace.